This lesson introduces several different ways to use the Montessori 100 board. I have a printed version here, but it comes in a wooden version with wooden chips, number chips, and there are also plastic versions with plastic number chips. So to start with, you might take only 1 through 10 and have the child put the numbers in sequential order. Now, this is not the first introduction to counting to 100. The child should have previously been exposed to counting through the number rods, the teen boards, the 10 boards, and lots of other material. So this is almost like a cumulative activity. Okay, so once the child is able to put 1 through 10 in order on the board, in Montessori, there's something called a control chart. And the control chart is what allows the child to check their own work. Okay, so here we can look at the first row and see, yep, it's the same. And you can also have another way to check by pointing and reading the numbers out loud. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if some of the numbers are mixed up, it might at this point just not sound right, and that might be a self-correction. So for example, if we had that. Okay, now once the first row is complete, the next row can be introduced. So the teen numbers. And you always want the numbers to be right side up, even if they're in mixed order, because at this stage, children still struggle a lot with reversals. Okay, so then the child could just continue on building. And one of the nice things they'll start to see eventually is some patterns. That's one thing I really like about the 100 board. So they might start to notice that, oh, 2, 2, and once they continue down, they might notice that this row has a 2 digit, or that this row has the 5s, or that these are all the 10s. Okay, so that's a nice thing about this board. And as they continue on, once it's filled up, they can do extension activities where they might remove everything except for the 2s. Okay, so they might just have the 2s all the way down. And they could also do another activity where they have the cards out and they're just skip counting. Maybe they just at first have 1 through 20. Okay, so this is where 2 would go. We would skip 3, 4, skip 5, 6, skip 7, 8, and again, as they continued, they would start to see patterns emerge with skip counting on the board. So for skip counting by 2s, we're going to end up with columns all the way down. Skip counting by 3s, you're going to get a different pattern on the board. Okay, so there's lots of activities that can be done with this board. And if you have the printed version, eventually, if the child has the fine motor development and the motivation, they can write in the numbers. And that would be something that you would want to do step by step. So maybe a row at a time. Okay, so that's the 100 board. And again, there's lots of ways to use it, lots of creative ways, and it is a hands-on way to count to 100 and see patterns in our number system.